So, clarity is our topic. Now, why is this important in Kung Fu practice? And it's obvious in our own personal and spiritual growth, but why is it important in Kung Fu? Because I found when people are wanting to develop their internal power and their skill as a martial artist, if they have a wasted energy because they have frustrations, blockages, and misalignments in other areas of their life, it affects their Kung Fu because they lack an alignment in directionality towards the potential of their overall life. So, for example, they may have a bad romantic relationship, which is making them feel stressed and worried and fearful, and it's a back and forth arguing relationship. So their energy is always off center because they're not really able to focus clearly because they keep going into a downward spiral of, disconnection or fear in a relationship which isn't supportive. So by getting clarity in your life around the areas of your life, which I just highlighted for you in the meditation, allows you to get your energy in alignment because you're aware of where you want to direct your potential, where you want to put your creative energy, both mentally, emotionally, energetically, and spiritually. So you get yourself into a sense of clarity through getting clarity of vision. So that's what we're talking about here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go through a few different areas and kind of break them down a little bit in the sense that we'll start with our internal life. So in the meditation which you are going to be doing each morning and each night over this week, I went through your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual life initially. Now, physical essentially is just your physical body and how you would like that to be in its peak physical condition. So the exercise for today is going to be simply getting clarity in these 4 different areas. So in your physical life, what does that look like? So you can get a pen and paper, you can do it now as we chat together, or you can type it in your phone, or I don't mind as long as you take some notes because you want to write it down so you get the physical action of actually putting these directions, these intentions onto paper or out of your mind onto some type of format, whether it's digital or physical, I don't mind. Now, as you write it down, unlimit your mind. Think in any potential. Perhaps you want a 6-pack, or perhaps you want to be able to run a marathon, or perhaps you want to be just extremely healthy, or perhaps you want to be fit and strong until you're 97 years old. It's up to you, yeah? And it's different for everybody. You may want to lose some weight, you may want to gain some weight. Everyone's different. So write down exactly how your physical health and your physical life is. Next, your emotional life. So how do you want to feel and deal with emotions on a day-to-day basis? Are you able to stay calm and centered? Are you mainly in a loving condition? This is obviously linked to our spiritual life as well. However, we want to deal with it from the emotional standpoint too, because sometimes that's an easier way to kind of digest them. Now, the emotions are the result of what we focus our attention on. So whatever you focus your attention on tends to potentiate emotions within you, which then lead to actions. So the thoughts lead to feelings, the feelings lead to actions, the actions lead to the way your life is, so to speak, right? So in our emotional life, we want to be aware of what emotional quality are we bringing to each situation within our daily life, within our work, within our friendships, and so on and so forth. So how do you want your emotional life to be? Get some clarity around that. It may seem a bit bizarre to even set an intention for this, but it gives you directionality. It creates a set point, and it doesn't mean that you have to get depressed or upset because, I wanted to be loving and now I'm angry. Because it's a direction, meaning you can use it as a guidance tool. So if you want to be loving but you notice you're angry, you can notice the actual difference. Whereas if you hadn't set the intention to be loving, you might be angry and just hang out there because you haven't set an intention to dissolve and release that and elevate your consciousness into those levels of lovingness. So you want to set these, you can put it as simply as this. Write down 3 emotions to 5 emotions that you'd like to, be within or manifest or vibrate with on a day-to-day basis. Simple as that. Next, our intellectual life, our mental life. How are you using the mind or utilizing its functions in your own development? Are you reading books? Are you watching courses like this one? Are you watching YouTube videos? Are you listening to podcasts? How do you feed your mind? Are you meeting up with people? Are you going and studying? There are multiple ways that you can learn and evolve your thinkingness, your mental, your intellectual life. And how are you doing that? Do you like to read books, or would you like to read more books? So once again, this part of the course is about your clarity of your vision, where you're going with it. So you don't necessarily want to say, what am I doing now? You want to think about, how would I like to do this? And then how is the emotional content and the actual vibrational feeling of that area of my life, right? So, intellectual life. How does that look? And moving to the last component, it's the spiritual life. So, when we look at our spiritual life, how do you practice that? Or how would you like to practice more of your spiritual life? How would you like to embed that into your daily existence, Would you like to go about your day in a peaceful condition? Would you like to be more unconditionally loving towards yourself? Would you like to meditate in the morning and the evening, which I'm hoping you do with this course? Would you like to go to church? Would you like to go to the monastery? Would you like to pray? Would you like to be in a constant state of devotion? It's up to you. This is your life. You do what you want. But we want to have a little bit of clarity around that. So once again, our energy is directed towards our potential in regards to these different areas of our life. Okay, so write down all those different ideas and directionalities for these 4 different areas: your internal life, your from the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual life. Get some clarity around that. Have it written down. And then I'll see you in our next video.